sitting in my rig right now, and I've been saying that I'm going to go over it for the longest, and I've just been kind of busy. So I'm going to give you a rundown of the actual rig itself, the $130 eBay rig that I purchased, and just kind of go over that. So without further ado, let's just jump right into this. All right, I'm going to quickly run through this rig here. I'm going to start from the back. This is the Supllueer GS55. This is the manual that it comes with. Set it off to the side. I'm going to start with the seat mount here. Obviously, it's just like a lot of the rigs. They have like the two metal plates, one on each side, and then you have the rails. The rails do have slots in them to where you can slide the mounting kind of rail here in and out, so that if your seat bolt pattern is a little bit different, it does have some adjustability there. And also on top of the rail, there's some adjustability to where you can put the bolts into your sliding rails. This seat came separate. Of course, I purchased the seat from Amazon. Wasn't that expensive. I think I paid $110 shipped to my door for the seat. It was $130 for the entirety of the rig, maybe $140 shipped from eBay. You can get it from Amazon as well. Costs a little bit more on that. Tube frame, nice thick tubing there, nice and sturdy there. I do have mine mounted on some isolation pads because I have haptics. I have a Dayton audio on the front there, and I have a Dayton audio mounted under the seat. I'll kind of see if I can get down and show that. It is mounted on a VESA mount here, so it's a 400 millimeter VESA mount with a 100 millimeter pattern in the center mounted on there. You can find that on, if you Google it, how to do that. I have some rubber isolating this VESA mount from the bottom of the frame, so it's mounted kind of directly to the seat, so that most of the vibrations will travel through the seat, and I can feel it. And that is that. I'm gonna make my way to the shifter here, so you can see how it is mounted on here. Just a couple of U-bolts down there that are mounted to the rail. I kind of got to slide mine forward, so I'll do that eventually. But there's plenty of mounting places. I can mount a handbrake shifter on here. If you are a flight simulator person, you can mount a flight simulator HOTUS on here, but you would have to source another one of those for the other side, which would be nice, to where you can have your throttle on this side and your kind of stick on the right, or vice versa, depending on who you are. This is how these are paired together. 4 bolts. I'll come over here and show it up close. Nice sturdy connection. You have 8 feet on this thing, and they're all adjustable. One there, and one here. So this can, in theory, be separated and be its own individual thing. And same for this. If you just want the front part, I don't know about the balancing with the pedals up there, but in theory, you can do it. Let's see here. This is how it's mounted here. It does have some structural bracing for more rigidity. And then we're gonna make our way up to the base mount. As you can see, I have the Moser R12. I kind of have it slid back on the base. I can put it in these front 2 holes. I think it'll fit in these holes as well, because they are kind of slotted. I can adjust it, but for my seating position, I decided to just go with the 2 holes in the R12, not the back ones. Slid it all the way back so that I can get optimal arm length when sitting down. Now, another thing to note, when you have this cockpit, you can adjust this. It normally comes in 3 stages: a hole on the bottom, middle, and top. It only gives you those 3 positions where you can kind of adjust from there. I wanted to be able to, incrementally adjust this so that I had a little tilt in it. With the holes that it had, it didn't give me a tilt. It was just basically straight on, tilted far up, or kind of tilted down, I believe. And it just wasn't right for me. So I drilled out the holes in the middle on both sides so that I can basically just slide this thing all the way up and down as I need it. It's kind of like this back here. There's only 3 holes, 1, 2, 3, but that was fine. Another thing to note is if you notice here, there's a little, this is kind of connecting these 2 parts. This is a little long. They didn't need this to be this long. They could have kept it a little shorter, and that's probably another reason why I moved this back. If this was a little bit more, like maybe an inch shorter, I probably could have mounted this motor in the front holes on this base. But I guess it just all depends on who you are, because also it depends on how long your stem is coming out, your trunk or stem is coming out of your base as well, where you mount the wheel to. Then I'm gonna move down here to the pedal. Oh, and before I go, if anyone is wondering how sturdy it is, I'm gonna yank on this a little bit. Super sturdy. It's not going anywhere. So for Moser R12, 12 Newton meters, this is perfect. It'll probably be able to handle the 16 without any issues on here. And you know, you just crank these bolts down pretty tight and you'll be fine. I mean, is there any wiggle? I mean, of course, I think on most rigs, if you yank on them hard enough, there's going to be some wiggle. But while driving, you won't be able to feel that. It's nice and sturdy, so no complaints about that. Now, the pedal tray, this was something that I liked and I didn't like. Obviously, it's not something that's super thick. I think this is 2.5 mil as well. I don't think it's 3. But maybe it's 2 mil. I don't know. But it's not super thick steel. I don't know if you can see that. But it's probably like the same thickness as this. Let me get some light over here. There we go. So not super thick, but the way they design it, obviously they kind of bent it on the sides. It's got a little bit of taper here to where it gets thicker towards the root where it mounts to the pole here. With these U-bolts, you can slide it all the way up. You can slide it back. So plenty of adjustability there. If you want, you can also mount some slider rails to this and have your pedals on a different separate tray and move them back and forth, just like a lot of 80-20 or 80-40 profile rigs, things like that. I just have my pedals mounted directly to this metal. It works, but it wasn't as sturdy at first. Obviously for the clutch and for the throttle, it's fine. It had a little bowing in the center. When you press it, this didn't go down as much as in the center. It kind of bowed a little bit under the pressure, just, you know, slight bend. And so in order to combat that, I actually had some metal bracing at here. You know, I forgot what it was from. It was sitting around and it was adjustable. So I put some padding on the bottom, bolted it to the top. It fit perfectly fine. So that's basically all you got to do. You can, you know, fabricate something like that or figure that out. Super simple. I had a couple blocks at first, and then I put that metal in there, and it's fine. If I, you know, want to move it around, take it with me, it's just attached to that. No worries there. It's plenty strong to hold the pedal now when I press on it. I built this footrest here out of some parts from Home Depot. Could have went with some diamond plating, but I cheaped out and got the $5 or $6 steel plate. I think it's like 6x16 or something like that, and cut it down with some aluminum angle bracket. Bolted it all together. Looks good, works good, fine for me. And that is basically it. That is the rig in a nutshell. If you have any questions, comments, please comment down below. If you have any questions about this Supllueer, I don't know the name of this. Oh, and never mind the wiring mess over here. That's my haptics there. I got I think this is a Fox Mule or something like that. I don't know the name. I'll put it up on the screen of this is an 80 by 80 amp running to the Dayton Audio bass shakers. Works great. Again, we'll go over those in a future video. I'll clean up the wiring and things like that. I don't know if I'm going to keep it there. Might move it to the back or to the side over here out of the way, because it's one of those things where you just set it and forget it. You just toggle the on off switch on the top there to turn it on and off, and it works pretty good. The Moza with the KS wheel. I have the CS wheel somewhere over here, but I've mainly been driving GT and some Formula stuff, so I've been using this recently. And then I have that eBay, what, $30-$40 shifter there that works pretty good. The only thing is, if you're not using it with the bass shakers on, you don't want to leave this in the center. It kind of vibrates a little bit, so I kind of put it up into a gear and just leave it there. But that's it for now. I think this is a mid-range, I would say. Not mid, I'm not even gonna say mid. I would say it's slightly above entry level. Entry level would be your kind of just wheel stands. I bought one of those from Micro Center for like $100. It's not worth it. Not for something like this. I didn't have the Moza R12 on it. I think I had a R5 on that thing, and it still shook a little bit. It was decent for what it was. If that's what you got to use it. But for 20 or 30 bucks more, you can have a full rig. You just got to get a seat source. This is just a much better thing. It takes up a little bit more space, obviously, than that thing that can fold up the wheel stand. But I don't know. I just feel $100 for that, $130 for all of this is just better. And if I want just the wheel stand, I could just separate this and then use this as a wheel stand if possible. But again, I'll come back, and if you have any other questions, please comment down below. Thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.